Okay, we're back. Holy cow, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks? It's been a while. Yeah,
Been a while.
so here we are. Return to the Glory, Session 11, Whispers of the She-Demon. Now, first of all, I want to note that it is D&D Celebration Weekend. If you haven't checked out any of the fun stuff going on with D&D Celebration around the release of Rime of the Frost Maiden, which came out this week. There's a lot going on. I'm actually personally participating in an Adventurers League adventure tomorrow, an epic. So I'm really excited about doing that. But there's a lot of D&D fun stuff going on right now. And if you're watching us, thank you. I know there's a lot of things that you could watch other than us, and I'm really happy that you're here. Yeah.
Is a magen just a female mage?
No, Imagine is all the people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry. Okay, so like I said, last we played was 2 weeks ago. During session 10, our intrepid adventurers continued through the chambers of the Overlux and encountered an inordinate amount of tentacles, if I recall.
And they all loved Cogbog.
So
Yeah.
many tentacles.
Cogbog got some
to be fair,
damaged
don't we all?
armor. Cogbog got some damaged armor out of the deal. I believe you met some kind of demon woman in the chapel of the Overlux, and
The chapel.
she mentioned something about Ignatia, who I believe you all surmised was the magic user's whose body you found riddled with slod a while back.
Yeah.
Covered in gross baby tadpoles.
Yes.
Bitey tadpoles.
So yes, you managed
Yo, poor
to survive some more creatures, an O2 and what was it, a black slime or something? Tentacles, lots of tentacles.
Lots of tentacles.
And
So many tentacles.
at the end of the last session, you all decided to go back up to the surface to get Cogbog's acid-damaged weapons and armor repaired, and to take a nice long rest before you continued on.
And Ushnar's.
Oh yes, Ushnar. Ushnar had a bad axe problem. Yes.
And there was talk of maybe some better daggers for a certain halfling.
Oh,
I also need to replace the axes that I threw. So there's that.
yes.
We need
Okay.
to go shopping.
There's like nowhere to shop around here.
Okay, I
Which
believe
sucks.
the original plan was I was going to have you do your rest, get your stuff taken care of, and then pop you right back into where you left.
Right.
I have totally changed that. Yes. So,
DM
What?
has spoken.
yes. So I will say this: you did get a long rest in, and you were able
That's
to
good.
replace your weapons and armor with roughly the equivalent of what you had before.
But no upgrades.
Cogbog, did you have plate mail?
Yes, I believe so. Let me look here. I had, plate heavy armor.
Plate, okay. And what tribe are you part of?
I am part of the. Oh, I have it. I know this.
turn that.
Yeah,
volume
why-
up.
The watchful eye.
The watchful eye. Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
We're tasked with, guarding the ancient city.
So Cogbog, the armor that they basically they determined that your armor was not only was it not very salvageable, but they decided they were going to give you something new. Across the breastplate of this new armor is a big red angry eye.
Yes.
Whoa. That's
It
pretty
turns
sick.
out that is what the paladin guard of the new Overlux wears, and you were presented this new suit, which, other than having some slight visual differences, is roughly identical to your old suit. So.
Right. As soon as they hand it to me, I look at it, and I bow, and I get down on one knee, and I say like my paladin prayers, over a protection prayer over my armor.
They nod gruffly and leave the tent that you all are encamped in.
Thanks, motherfuckers.
A young orc knocks on the post at the entry of your tent and pulls aside the drape. It pokes his head in and says, Grevnar summons you before you return to the Stronghold. And then leaves.
Does anyone know who Grevnar is?
No clue.
So
Come
you've
tell
met
you lunch.
Gravnar. He was the orc that tasked you with going into the Stronghold. He's the one that is trying to unite the tribes. I realize that was some time ago, so I'll give you that.
Well, and Ito didn't necessarily get his name.
Ah, fair enough.
She kind of fell into the adventure, literally.
This is true. This is true.
Ass over tea kettle.
Okay. You next to your pack, Ito, you do find a pair of daggers. They seem like standard fare for orcs. Nothing special.
So twice the size of her previous daggers. Got it.
But now if I throw daggers, I have 2 more daggers. I'll take it. Thank you, orc friends.
And Ushnar, your axe has been replaced as well.
What about the 2 axes I threw? Like the hand axes?
Yes, they've been replaced. Anything that you told them that
Excellent.
you were missing has been replaced.
I'm missing like 100 golds.
Right.
So the orc quartermaster that you told this to just bursts out with laughter and just walks away chuckling.
I almost had you, old man.
So close.
Knowing that she is the worst person of this group to be doing this, Ito was hoping to sneak out and find anyone who looks magic-y in Ito's mind, which is very broad, and ask if anyone magic-y or religion-y or smart-y knows the name Azarlia. Because she's the only one who got that name.
So you poke your head
Cog.
out of the tent entrance, and 2 paladins apparently have been guarding the entrance. And one of them turns to you and says, "Are you all ready? We'll take you to the Overlux now."
Let me check with the orc friends. Hold on. Do you know the name Azarlia?
What?
Azarlia. Doesn't everyone know Azarlia?
Go
you don't
fetch
know
your
Azarlia?
master, short one. We don't have all day.
Don't have a master. And I close it and I say, hey, orc friends. They want us to leave and they're mean.
All right.
Are we
Brunch.
all
Let's
rested?
go.
Yes, you are all well rested now. Long rest.
Alrighty. If everyone agrees, I think we should head back into it.
We're supposed to go see the head guy before we
We
go.
gotta go see Gravnar. I step out of the
Right,
tent.
yeah.
And I say we must see Gravnar before we go.
That's what I just said.
So, Cogbog, you notice that the
I
two
thought you were
paladins,
talking to us.
the two paladins that were guarding the tent are wearing the same armor that you've been given.
Oh.
You guys match. Is that cool or embarrassing?
We do this. We do the secret Watchful Eye Tribe handshake.
Wow.
As you step outside, you notice that the huge encampment is bustling with activity. Warriors are everywhere, and those that aren't sparring with each other or preparing their gear are kneeling in rows before orcish shaman, which are suddenly present in much larger numbers than before. As you approach the tent complex of the warlord and self-proclaimed Overlux of the orcish people, you notice a gilded war banner emblazed with the staring eye of Grumpsh, the same eye that is on your armor, Cogbog, flying above the main tent, flapping sharply in the breeze, tethered to the tall main post in the center. The post is tall, and the banner can likely be seen for miles in every direction. As your gaze goes out over the countryside, because the leadership area of the encampment is up into the foothills of the Osmaroon Mountains. I think I pronounced that right. Gazing out over the plains and foothills, you see that even more orcs have assembled than before you entered the Stronghold ruins originally. This is surely the largest gathering of tribes in centuries, if not ever. Just past the edge of the encampment, however, couldn't be more than a mile or two, you see other groups massing under banners that definitely aren't orcish. They appear to be war bands. In fact, it is now obvious to you that the orcs around you are mustering and preparing for battle. An orcish paladin wearing the same ornate plate mail emblazoned with the eye steps out of the tent. Overlux Gravnar awaits you. As you enter the large tent, you see Gravnar and the high shaman surrounded by orcish bannermen over a table bearing a crudely drawn map of the campsite and surrounding area. Small stones represent the gathered orc tribes and the mysterious forces on the periphery. A particularly brutish orc wearing splint mail that has been modified to fit his massive frame towers above another orc who is yelling at him. Don't know them like we do. Them pointy-eared bastards belong on the end of a spear. We should attack now. Over the shoulder of Gravnar, the high shaman's eyes dart up and his gaze lands squarely on you, narrowing. He whispers briefly into Gravnar's ear and then speaks aloud. Enough! You all have your orders. Your Overlux has spoken. Now leave. He has other business to attend to. The smaller, but by no means small, orc huffs and turns away. His armor matches the plate mail of the paladin who admitted you. It matches Cogbog's, but much more ornate and decoration. Helm tucked under his arm, his grumbling can be heard as he lifts up the entry flap on the far end of the tent and exits. The giant mountain of an orc, so tall that he occasionally has to duck the rigging above him, turns in your direction. As he nears your party, he turns his gaze on you and sneers, the mere proximity of his form pushing some of you aside as he quietly lumbers out of the tent. Gravnar beckons you closer, with the high shaman intensely staring at you from behind. You cannot discern why, and even as he whispers again in Gravnar's ear, his gaze continues to stay locked on you. Gravnar speaks.
Ah, my friends, come here and let us speak for a moment.
Okay.
You approach
Let's
the
approach.
huge table. He continues.
I cannot express to you how important your mission is to the tribes gathered here and beyond. The entire future of the Orcish race rests on how successful you are in reclaiming Stronghold from the darkness that has kept it hidden for so many generations.
He turns to the side and a scowl comes over his face.
The peoples of Faerun have caught wind of our gathering and have deployed warriors to the south and east of us. He points.
To the two groups of stones on the edges of the table.
There are elves.
He says through gritted teeth in a flash of rage. The high priest's eyes seem to twinkle at the word, still unblinkingly staring at you from over Gravnar's shoulder.
Some of my generals, hell, the captain of my personal guard, demand that we attack them, and with good reason. Our blood feud with the elves predates even this stronghold, possibly going back to the birth of the land itself. We are not ready, however. It is not enough that we have gathered here for common cause. We must be united as one tribe. We must have the Stronghold. We must have a true reason to fight for this place. For these orcs who have come from so far to accept it as home. If our blood be spilt here, so be it. It is always a good day to fight elves. But we are to reclaim this land and unite the tribes of all Toriel. Our glory in battle will be sung for generations. So you see, our future depends on you.
He looks to the high shaman.
I know I ask a lot of you, and now you feel the weight of what is just past the now on your shoulders as I do. I cannot hold off my generals indefinitely, but my priests tell me there is a way for me to show the tribes how our future is as one. I will let my hand tell you what you need to do.
He looks intently at each of you in turn. As his gaze crosses Ito, he flinches slightly.
Do exactly as he instructs, and make it quick. If you fail me, your skulls will adorn the spikes of my shield, and your bloodlines will be cursed. If you succeed, you will all take your place by my side as heroes of the United Tribes.
Oh, you guys didn't get the voice part on that last bit, did you?
No.
Oh,
No.
oops.
That's fine.
It was equally as epic.
You did a good job. Anyway.
He turns and walks out of the far entrance to the tent. The hand of the Overlux, highest shaman of the soon-to-be united tribes, disengages from Gravnar and approaches you. His thin lips betraying a slim curl of contempt. There's an artifact, an orb. You must locate it and bring it back to this tent, if possible, or at least be able to deliver us to it if not. The tribe who protected the city, the Watchful Eye, they used it to protect the Orcish race. He gets a little animated. The Eye of Grumsh will unite the tribes of orcs, and we shall return to the glory. He kind of shakes it off.
He said the name.
He shakes it off and is calm once again. Squints his eyes at you. You may take as long as you want to clear the Savron hold after the eye is presented to your Overlux. That is still your mission. Doing this will buy you and us time. As for everything else you find down there, keep whatever items you find, but the rest of the treasure needs to fill the coffers for the coming war. Fear not, you will not be wanting for coin, assuming you come back alive. He turns and exits the tent. You are there alone.
So no pressure.
Yeah, well, that was a doozy. I think all we can do now is, try to clear that stronghold as fast as we can.
Let's
think
get
he
that
likes
damn
me very
artifact.
He told us to get this thing, but he didn't tell us where it was.
Or what it looks like.
Is there anyone else in the room besides us?
No.
Just us?
No, they all left the tent. And I believe it's an orb.
The eye.
Goodness.
He said the Watchful Eye used it to protect the Orcish race. I wonder
Do you
how.
think it looks like the thing on his new armor?
Yeah.
So all of you who are orcs recognize that the eye must represent Grumsh, the one-eyed god that many of you worship. This is a new representation that you haven't seen before.
How long have we been down there? Religion's already changed.
Oh no.
Feels like forever.
Ito wants to tug at Kalk's robe since she's so far down, and says they don't really like me here, and they might like you. The bear that turned into a lady who's in love with Kalk. She told me her name is Azarlia, and I feel like that's really important. And maybe we should know something about that. Do you have anyone you could ask?
Azarlia. Let me ask the shamans. I'm gonna head out of the tent and see if any of the shamans are around.
Yeah, you actually see
Ito follows really close
in
behind
a
him.
smaller tent that is next to the large meeting tent that you just came out of. It's still basically part of like the command complex area. You see about 3 other lower ranking shaman conversing with each other.
All right, I'll walk up to them, leaning on my staff.
Yes. May we
Ito-
help you?
His robes.
Yes, fellow scholars, those who may know much more than I about such an obscure topic. While we were in the depths of the exploration, we encountered a name of a she-demon, possibly called Azarlia. Do you recognize this name or know where I might study it?
They look at each other in thought. And all three of them just kind of collectively shrug, and the one you were speaking to says, "Doesn't ring a bell."
It's worth a try.
Is there anyone else that might study such things in the encampment somewhere?
Well, I mean, we are dedicated to studying the past triumphs of our Lord Grumsh. I do not know of any tales of him fighting she-demons or consorting with them, for that matter. I don't know anyone who would know what you speak of.
Well, no matter. I'm sure it's nothing. I'll walk away. I tried, friend.
Thank you. I feel like we should know more, but if no one knows.
Well,
Maybe the elves know.
perchance it's written in a book somewhere, and it's unlikely that any of my colleagues would have read one. If we stumble across one in the depths of the tunnels, we'll find it, and maybe we can find someone who can read it.
I can read it if we find it.
A sound plan.
Well, I say we go. We have to find an eyeball. I need a new one too.
But I like yours. Does the eye on Cogbog's armor follow me if I'm like standing in front of him doing this?
That'd be good.
No, it's just kind of painted on there.
Ito's trying anyway.
In some kind of red enamel or paint of some sort.
I just stare at her. Be like, okay.
Everyone's staring at me anyway, so
Alrighty, let's go
Remember.
fight some things. Go get
Ito,
some monsters.
remember.
For the
For
tribes.
my lunch.
look, you've got a
Not
she
anybody
demon.
else.
You've got a she demon who's also a bear who's in love with you. So I think I have, like, not that worried about you, sir.
Let's get in there.
Okay.
Ito's walking around with these giant orc-sized daggers.
You gonna throw those?
Maybe. I've got an extra set now.
You're getting pretty good with them.
See? You're nice, but don't worry, I won't tell the other orcs up there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. No one does. They wouldn't believe me anyway. It's okay.
It's true.
Alright, let me grab you guys.
Yeah, grab us.
Copy.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it.
Any way you want.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Hey, look,
Alright.
it's me.
Hey, we exist!
Yay!
Yes.
Yes, I am making little mouth sound effects as I move you guys.
Fair.
Okay.
So, is Cogbog gonna run into by himself this time?
So, as you crawl down the little entrance, the cave entrance, into the first part of the dungeon again. I was going to read you the okay. All right, so yes, this should look familiar to most of you. You did have an encounter in the main room just ahead, and as you come down, once again, as before, a mouth manifests on the door to the east. When faced with glory, fortune, or faith, choose all three and accept no substitutes. And then it disappears.
I remember that. We used that for another thing, right? Like way back.
The other thing was walking through the door, right?
I think that's just a saying that we've heard before.
Yeah,
so
I don't
you didn't
think-
actually
Yeah.
go through that
Figured
door
that
to the
yet.
west.
Oh, we never did.
All right, so let's do it.
Today's the day.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to go through that door?
Yes, let's go. Who wants to go first?
Me.
I got it. Oh, all right. Go ahead.
I mean, if you want to.
I got your back.
Is it? Where is this
I'll lay
door?
my hands on you.
It's
The west.
If it's
Yeah,
to the east.
where-
it's
think
directly
it's-
to the east of you.
Yeah, where Ito is.
Oh,
yes.
Back to the beginning, y'all.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Can Ito
Yeah,
give it a quick look over for traps?
Sure.
Perception or investigation?
Neither. You look at the door. It is unlocked and doesn't appear to have any traps on it.
It's have fun.
Ushnar,
Yep.
do your thing.
I checked it
Yep.
for traps, y'all.
All right.
We'll talk. Okay, I opened the door.
Thanks, Ito.
Let
We
me in.
I follow right behind.
Like that Eric Andre meme. Let me in.
Roll for initiative.
Right. That's how we get down.
Okay, so Ushanar, you walk in, and it's a musty corridor. Hasn't really seen anyone in it for some time, apparently. As you turn the corner, you notice an alcove off to your left. And there's a dim light coming from the alcove.
That looks like a pressure plate, so I'm gonna like not step on it, but look around at the alcove.
Okay.
Actually, what's my intelligence?
I grab on.
I go
your,
through the door.
I grab on your
I'm smart.
your armor, and, like lean you forward a little bit.
Yeah, that's a winner. So,
Okay.
do I see
so-
anything like suspect besides like the faint light?
So in that alcove, you see a bust, kind of lifted up by a pillar in the alcove. A very stern-looking orc, with trophies gathered at the foot of the bust and the pillar that it rests on. There is a thin layer of frost on the items that are at the foot of the bust.
There are items.
Is the ambient temperature cold, or is the frost just like on the things? Second word, I swear.
Messengers going on.
Not unless you're nearly close to touching the items. It just seems like there is frost on the items itself.
Any of you casters can detect magic? Also, I want to can I check the area in front of it for traps? Because again, it's drawn in a way that looks suspicious. Not that I'm good at detecting traps, but
you could call a rogue over.
I
I
could
can detect good and evil.
But why would I unpack my lunch to do this?
I would like to detect some magic.
Okay.
Detect away.
So you see that
Cleric
kind of
Zeus,
magic
Cleric-
light kind of emanating from the alcove, as well as from what appear to be 2 additional alcoves further down the hallway.
It seems there's magic in some little alcoves. Be careful on the sides.
So Ushnar, you're close enough to see that the trophies that are covered with frost appear to be a number of human crafted arrows, a silvered warhammer that looks like it might be elvish, and a variety of polyhedral objects, maybe gnomish in
Got it.
nature. They are covered in numbers.
So my
Has anyone tried to touch them yet?
No, we haven't gotten up to the alcove because we're concerned about pressure plates.
Okay. Maybe if someone has like a quarterstaff or something, we could poke the tiles in front of us and also the items.
So I want to move to the
That's
end of this
good.
hall.
I
I
have
just
a
want
trap
to
that I call
walk
Trapfinder.
down here.
Okay, as you get halfway, in another alcove in the middle of the hall, you see a bust of a female orc. And as you approach,
Hot.
you hear a muted howling coming from the mouth of the bust.
Does it sound alive?
She is also... The bust also is wearing a necklace made of carved, looks like lava stones and opals.
This seems like a trophy room.
This seems like a trap. Admiral Akbar called. He left me a voicemail. It's a trap. But does it sound like a living voice? And I know that sounds weird, but does it sound like a living voice?
Or a magic voice.
It does sound like the voice of an orcish woman.
I stop, look over, and goes, "Woman, are you okay?"
The
I
muted
look at
howling
Ish,
just
and
kind
I'm
of
like,
continues.
Okay,
Who the
then I
hell
want
are
to
you
walk
talking
past that
to?
and
Give
I
me a
just wanna
perception
scout-
check, actually. Give me a perception check.
Do E for perception. That's a low roll. So I want to just walk to the end of this room and back and just sort of check out and see if there's anything obviously stabby or killy.
Actually, before you do that, as you're kind of walking a little further, start to walk a little further down, you notice that there appears to be some kind of writing on the base of the bust. But you've already kind of walked past it and are going down to the end of the hall.
Thinking is for other people.
So if I super inspect this first statue,
Hold on.
Okay.
As you get to the end of the hall, there is a third alcove, and this is another bust of another orc, but this orc has a cowl on his head, and the bust stands atop a pile of tattered spell books. The books have been defaced, but the bust looks immensely pleased with itself. The bust septum is pierced with a pearl ring.
what was the first bust again?
The first bust
Elven.
Had a hammer.
So yes, it is a bust of a very stern-looking orc, with rather large tusks, and at the feet of the bust and the pedestal that the bust is on are several frost-covered trophies, arrows, silvered Elven Warhammer, and what appear to be some strange-looking dice.
So we've got a fighter, a bard, and a magic user?
Yes?
What does it all mean?
I mean, that's what the statues seem like, right?
Maybe we should, like, stand in front of or, like, touch the statues of the corresponding classes.
It's the mouth on the door said to choose all three.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Shit, what was this one that I'm in front of?
I'm gonna go back outside and poke the door and see if that mouth comes back and says anything.
So
I wave at it.
the top one was the
Nothing.
fighter, the middle one was the bard, the bottom one is... Well, but he, like, defaced the books, but seemed proud of it. That doesn't seem like a magic-y person.
I got this.
Do we have to grab the items all at once?
That seems.
Yeah, that sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Choose
who's
all three and accept nothing
Less.
less?
okay? So who's the squishiest of all of us?
Me and the rogue, I bet.
Yeah.
I have 45
I've got
health. Mac.
What's your AC?
Yeah, what's your AC?
11.
11.
Yeah,
Hey, we're
that's-
tied.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Oh.
think
I'm
you guys
14.
have the lowest.
but I only have 39.
Okay.
19 here.
Oh, but I
So,
have some dodge stuff. Oh, but I don't have the good dodge thing yet.
So I'm going to stand nearby Culk just in case stupid things start happening.
Yeah, I have 26 hit points.
How?
Woof.
Get hit more than once or
Can I
twice.
read?
I assume this
I
hall's
wanna
wider
read.
than the halfling. Oh yeah, we need to read that.
I want to read what's on the middle one, if I can, if it's in Orcish.
So yes, it is an orcish, and it says Urtriel, the primal scream.
Of course.
The books over here have been
I-
defaced, but is there anything that can still be read off them?
On that bust, there is some writing as well in Orcish.
I can read Orcish.
It says,
I read
Clank, Defiler of Wizards.
Defiler of Wizards. Kalk, don't stand near this one.
I'm a sorcerer. It doesn't bother me.
Okay. You're all magic-y people.
Lol.
What, do you think all magic people are like the same or something? Come
Yeah.
on.
They're all magic. I don't know. I stab things.
Sticking with the pointy end.
They use books and spells and magic happens. I don't know how.
So Ushnar, you're right by the northern
rock.
bust, and that one says Ganache, Tusk of the North.
Tusk of the North. Ganache. Tusk of the North.
Hey guys. Put the halfling up there in the north one with her tusk key.
Hey.
Oh.
I read Urtriel the Primal Scream, and I just let out a blood-curdling primal scream right in front of the bust. Just...
Are you okay?
Since he's literally
Not
right next
sure.
to my ear, I want to look at Kongbog and with scorn.
Yeah, nothing seems to
I
happen.
just put my hand on Ori's boat. I just put my hand on Gaver and I just do a sloth face over his head. Shut up.
Okay. I would like to take my quarterstaff and kind of poke the end of it at some of these like frozen stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you were able to kind of jostle it around a bit. It's not like
doesn't,
frozen.
Does
Nothing.
like flash
Pardon?
freeze my staff?
No.
If I touch it, is it
What was it that
icy cold, or is it like a weird?
It's definitely cold to the touch, but it's not like sticking your tongue on a flagpole in the middle of winter or anything like that.
There's some weird magic-y
Walk
stuff
down to-
happening here.
I walked down to the south one and read underneath the bust again. What did it say?
Clank, Defiler of Wizards. And the bust septum is pierced with a pearl ring.
So he's got a nose ring, she's got a necklace, and there's a bunch of frozen stuff on the ground here. I think we're just supposed to take it all because we're supposed to accept nothing less. But I feel like something's going to try and come and kill us if we do that.
I'll take the risk.
Except nothing less.
I take the ring, the nose ring, the septum ring, and I just
Wait.
give it
We
a
should.
good yank.
Are you warning
Coordinate
anyone
all this.
else that you're doing this? Or
Yeah, like
doing it?
let's
No.
coordinate this.
Nope.
Oh,
Whatever.
Oh, then here we
just
go.
did it.
I mean, I'm at the far end, so
Done.
I probably don't see this.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
I'm
you're
going
able
along.
to, kind of with a little bit of jiggling, able to remove the ring from the septum of the bust.
I start
And,
picking up
I put it on my.
if
on
you
my
look at
own
it closely,
septum. Before I do that,
the pearl on the ring bears 2 orcish sigils.
What do they look like?
do I recognize them?
Yes, one of them is consume, and the other is remove magic.
Wait, sigils of. Interesting.
Okay,
Like
4.
they're tribes, or I don't understand.
They're like symbols that mean a word, right?
Okay.
Not like a letter, but like a sigil, like a rune.
I put it in my septum.
You just jam it up in there.
Oh no.
Yeah, have you been pierced
Start
before?
bleeding.
I pierce it.
Okay.
My eyes, my right eye starts watering.
So as you pierce your own septum with this ancient pearl ring, Trying to think. Like somehow you graze it as you're like kind of have your mouth open in pain and you're trying to jam it into your septum. Your tongue manages to graze it and it tastes like salty bones.
Mmm. Bet you love having that up your nose.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start trying to pick up some of the frosty things in front of this one and see if it like burns my hands.
I
Okay.
would like whatever this necklace is.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me check on something real quick. Curious.
There's probably gonna be a ghost, guys. Brace yourselves. Ramming speed.
Okay.
Ramix.
Now what were you doing?
It's gonna pick up the some of the smaller frosty things because I don't think I can handle the big old frosty hammer. But you said there were some smaller frosty things. I'm gonna pick them up and see if I can like.
Well, it's an Elven Warhammer, so it's fairly lightweight.
Oh, I really want it then.
But it is still pretty
be like
big
me.
for you.
Yeah, but if I can handle, I'll still look cool in front of my orc friends.
So do you pick up the arrows, the hammer, and the
Probably not.
dice things, or?
I probably would have picked up the dice things, and if nothing like killed me and they didn't like freeze my hand, those went in a pocket. And then I went for the hammer and was like, "Oh my god, I can pick this up!" And I've forgotten all about the arrows.
Yeah. So as you pick up the dice, the heat of your hand causes the frost to basically just disappear almost immediately, and nothing strange happens. You can see. Do you know Gnomish?
I do not know Gnomish.
Okay. You see some strange markings on them. You're pretty sure they're numbers. You're just not sure what language it is.
Guys, I can play D&D now.
I see the frost disappear, and I just try to pick up the elven axe.
The hammer?
Give it a little.
I got it.
Yeah, the hammer.
It's
And then-
mine.
oh. Okay. Okay.
There's arrows at my feet still.
Okay, so you pick up the hammer, and the frost just kind of shrinks away from the heat of your hand, and you have a silvered Elven Warhammer in your hand now. And like most Elvish weaponry,
Ito,
it is very
Ito.
lightweight, considering its size.
I'm assuming
So
it's
who else?
probably about as tall as I am too, right?
Probably something.
4 feet.
Yeah.
Who else wields? I know someone else has a great axe. Who else wields two-handers besides me?
I do.
I can.
Okay. So I walk up to that alcove and I pick up the arrows, and then I put my hand out to the little halfling and go trade.
But it's big and cool and light. Look. And I start
You're
waving
like,
it around.
whoa, whoa.
Look.
Trade. Wait, and then I take out my great axe, and hold out the great axe and the arrows, and go trade.
All right, so you picked up the arrows? Okay. Just like the others, the frost recedes. And they appear to be normal
See?
arrows.
I look at Ito and I go, "See, you're not special."
But I've got a big
Like
hammer.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I have
That is true.
get great axe. You have an elven hammer.
Yeah, I have it.
I
my-
snicker.
Trade.
Hot dog Snickers.
Can I pick up whatever is in the middle alcove?
The necklace.
So you want to grab the necklace made of carved stones and opals?
Damn right. Put that baby on.
Okay. You take it off, and you try to put it on, but it's it doesn't quite fit the girth of your neck.
Oh, then I'll just carry it around.
Okay.
If I see that, it fit me, right? I can go trade.
Now, if you want to trade with me, then I can trade with Ushnar.
Okay. All items have been picked up.
Oh, no.
And-
I know, I'm
Hey, guys,
waiting
we
for
picked
this.
up all
This
the
is going to be.
Roll for inertia.
The
Alright.
entire floor drops out from under you.
You're in
Okay.
the 7th dimension.
More
Um,
tentacles
take
come up
37
and grab Cogbog.
Hit points. Cogbog seems to enjoy it.
So the light you found out that the light was being emitted from the items that you retrieved from each of the alcoves. And once the necklace has been removed from the middle bust, all of the items that you retrieved kind of flare brightly, enveloping all of you in this spectral light, and then that kind of dims down, but you each feel, I don't know, protected in some way.
Oh,
Guys,
that's so good.
I feel
Um,
warm and fuzzy inside.
so
Way better than
so
I thought.
Aura.
basically, you are all under the effects of a blessing of some sort.
Hey.
One of protection.
Excellent.
Everyone
I feel
or
like I
people
got
that
a
picked
hug
up the
from
items?
Cogbog.
All of you that were present in the hallway when the items were picked up.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
you
I
each
was
gain a +1 bonus to AC in saving throws for the next 10 minutes.
Oh, so we should go
Oh.
fight
Sweet.
something fast.
Yeah, we should go kick some ass.
Yeah. 10 minutes. Guys, I feel
Nope, that's not what I wanted.
alive. All right.
It's like that scene in
that
the
was weird,
elevator for Big Trouble in Little China. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I can see things.
Can you dig it?
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Gave her a trade?
And
I,
Ushnar, the door at the bottom of the corridor, that is also not locked, and
Then I go right through it.
You can go
Fuck
right
it.
through it. Boom.
First,
behind.
I would like to trade this necklace that I cannot possibly use for a sick Warhammer with Ito.
You actually,
That's a good idea.
pretty much every single one of you except Ito look at that hammer with disgust and derision.
Oh.
It's an elvish hammer.
Yeah, it's elf.
But Ushnar seems to want it, and I'm a man of barter.
I threw up a
Ushnar,
little
do you
bit.
I
still
figured if it was a Warhammer that was like as good as my, but you know, it's Elvish, so you know.
Yeah.
Happy
You
birthday
definitely
to the
don't think
ground.
it's as good as anything you already have in your position.
Well, then you can have it for free.
That's
Merry
sweet.
Christmas.
Let's get moving.
Merry Grumschmitz.
Well, sweet. I got arrows.
All right. I'm following
really
the
strange.
oosh right over here. I'm just like, do you see anything?
So why would
Okay,
What?
so that hall that you're going down right there, Cogbog and Ushnar, you've been in that hallway before. That's where you go to the canal. So you recognize that.
We've been there before. Should we go back
Okay.
into that water area?
where do you
So what?
orb would be?
So I don't have like a full picture of like where all this area is. So where can we go that we have not been before?
Basically, The map, the map should be showing grayed out where you've already been.
I think because you set the vision, like the because you added
this type of
visual
view.
thing after we started exploring it. It hasn't actually shown any of these places that we've been to before you added the visual effects.
Yeah, because we
So
loaded the digital.
actually, the thing is that the area that you visited here is all within your direct view right now. I do have dynamic lighting set up so that it shows visited areas grayed out.
We
So
don't see them. It's all blacked out.
It's all blacked out for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think because we haven't visited since you added the effects.
I see gray.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that's more. Actually, that's not it because I actually went through each of the maps and brought your tokens through the map. I think it's just an inconsistency in how it's displaying for each of you right now. That's the problem.
I don't remember going into this room.
So that room was one of the first battles that you had.
I'm just kidding. I remember that.
I remember.
Down
It
here
was
in
the whites that crawled out from the broken altar on the far end. Yeah.
I remember the big room. I'm just talking about the room to the south. There's a door there.
So to this, oh yeah, you haven't gone in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
I want to check
kind of
that
the
out.
point. Yeah.
Lego.
Okay, so you want to go down there?
Yeah.
I do, with my body.
Okay, so there is a door.
There's a door. There's a door. There's a door in the bottom of the dungeon.
Okay.
There's a door in the bottom of the dungeon. There's a door in the bottom of the dungeon.
All right, so you open the
There's a
door.
It's a monster. Yeah, I do. I open that door with my hand.
Okay. All right. So these appear to be tombs. You see, which is strange for those of you that are orcs, because standard orcish funerary services often involve complete immolation or traditional burial. Typically, only highly respected members of your society are buried in this fashion.
Yes, of course. This is highly unusual. Or these
Can I
are
search
elite.
around? Can I search around this guy on the right, whatever this Detrius is over here?
Yes. So
Normally, I'm always down for grave robbing, but these guys seem pretty important.
Do they look? Do the remains appear orcish?
So no, they're actually, those piles aren't remains. They do appear to be. They might have been offerings of some sort. But there is a placard on the walls immediately in front of those three piles. One of them says Tomb of Ganache, Tusk of the North. Another says Tomb of Utriel, the Primal Scream. And the other one says Tomb of Clank, Defiler of Wizards.
So are those just piles, or do they look like places to put offerings?
Your best guess is that they were some offerings of some sort, but they just look like piles of unrecognizable junk at this point. Those orcs with history or religion, give me an ability check.
Ooh.
Religion? Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Gaver and Cogbog, and Rogmesh. Those names actually start to sound a little more familiar to you, and in fact are names of very famous orcish heroes. And you're kind of kicking yourself for not realizing that in the prior corridor.
Oh, the primal scream,
Of
of course.
Ganache,
Clank.
Tusk of the North, was a druid of immense power. He channeled the pure frozen rage of the northern blizzards. He was rumored to be permanently coated in primal ice, and he wielded the great club Frostshock, carved from the heart of an ancient glacier. Utriel led raid after raid with her clan of skilled warriors. Time and time again they clashed with and annihilated elves and humans alike, pushing back those who would encroach upon sacred orc lands. These are basically like heroes that you were told stories about in your childhood.
The legends.
Yes.
Their bodies rested here.
Oh my.
She and her troops would emit terrifying primal screams for the entire duration of battle, sowing panic and discord among their foes. While Clank, in life, reputedly had an extreme desire to find and eliminate any wizards among the enemy's ranks. Some say he could smell the magic, and demonstrated no small amount of glee when engaged in melee with an arcanist. He has become something. And actually, as this memory comes back to you, the room starts to get colder, and you
Ooh.
feel a presence.
Well, this has been fun. Let's go look for some other stuff.
Ito kind of takes the Gabriel, you gave me the necklace, right? Did we do
Yeah.
that right? Ito thoughtfully takes off the necklace, looks at it, and puts it on the pile to the primal scream.
Okay.
Aw,
There's
how
something on the
respectful.
pile.
I mean, it said they had a placard. We don't see it, but they said there was a placard with each one. So she put it on the
Yeah,
corpse.
there are things on the piles now.
Oh,
So-
yes, there.
Creatures.
For the two tombs on the west end of the room, you hear this kind of scratching as like withered hands start to kind of push stones out from the tomb, and two wraiths emerge
I
and
thought they were going to be
stare
Western
at you.
ghouls.
And on this come on the east side, a ghostly spirit with a shock of hair and an
Guys.
open mouth kind of phases out from the wall and stares at you. All three of these creatures are now looking at you.
We mean no harm. We're here to save the orcish race and stuff.
I would
Hey,
suggest
necklace.
returning the other things as well.
Do you know about the evil eye?
The three of them speak in unison. Why do you disturb us? Who are you?
We come here out of respect. We mean no harm. We did not mean to wake you. We only wish to respect the graves of those who have fallen.
What do you know of
There
us?
is-
You're heroes.
One of the wraiths kind of cocks his head and turns to you.
Backing up a little bit.
Mhm.
Speak or face
names.
our wrath. Who are
Ganesh.
you? Why are you here?
If you are Ganesh, Utrilia, and Clank, we have nothing but good things for you. We
We're looking for an eye?
apologize to disturb you.
Could someone
We
like
believe
enumerate the mission that
if
we were
that's what
given
you
to
want.
these people? Because that probably is a good idea.
We
Maybe
are to
you're
retake the
man for
dungeon
job.
for the orcish people under the new Overlux.
They turn to Cogbog in turn as he says each of their names. Yes, you know of us? Tell us. What do you know?
As a child, I was told of your adventures. You were valiant heroes and you fought bravely, and your stories have been passed down generations.
They look at each other. And they look at Rogmesh. How long has it been?
Ages.
It's been very long. You've been at rest for quite some time.
Where is this? This feels like the Boneyard.
It's definitely the Boneyard.
Yep, sounds like the Boneyard
Yep.
to me.
We are
The
in
one
this
the one who used to be known as Ganesh, Tusk of the North.
formerly known.
Yes, there's
Or
still a
formerly
passing
known.
resemblance to the bust that you saw in the other corridor. He turns to Cogbog. What did they say of me?
They said that your northern blizzards rage, that you're coated in ice, and your sword is said to be carved from a glacier.
Club.
Club.
Your club sword, club sorta.
Ito shuffles closer and tugs at you and drops the dice
Yeah.
into your hand.
Okay, got it.
Ah, yes, I remember. Frost shock. And he outstretches his hand, and an icy club appears in front of it. And the wraith looks at it and looks at you. And he places the club down on the ground. Are you worthy of this weapon?
Oh my god.
There's only one way to find out.
Tell me about your exploits, and I shall decide whether you see the handle of my club or the business end of my club.
I am a loyal worshipper of Groomsh, and I am from the tribe of the Watchful Eye. We guard the ancient city.
The watchful
As you can
eye.
see.
And tell me, what is the most fearsome creature that you have vanquished?
Well, we killed that big frog sorcerer thing.
The water weirds are pretty bad.
I mean,
Let
I'm
me
sure
tell
it
you
had a
about
name, but I
tentacles.
didn't care.
Slog.
Oh, I definitely killed a lot of water weirds.
I don't keep track, but they're all pretty terrible.
The wraith leans his head back
No.
and cackles with laughter.
Oh god.
10 fight.
Very
I laugh
well.
too, in an awkward way.
Take Frost Shock and bring more glory to the race.
Oh dang.
And he
Oh, you
turns
don't have to fight.
and crawls back into his tomb.
That's
I
good
pick
news.
up
The
Frost
other
Shock.
wraith and the spirit creature then watch him go back into his tomb and look at you.
Look at my club.
Can I have those dice back since he didn't take them? It's real cool.
Yes.
Is it cool?
The spiritual the spirit woman, the spirit orc woman opens her mouth wide and screams, and all of you are just like, it's almost enough to like actually cause you physical pain, but not quite. And she stops
When
and
she
she
does
says,
that,
"What do they say of your trio?"
Rogmesh, I think that's you.
Well, you just did it. You scream. It causes panic and discord throughout your enemies. You've pushed back humankind and others to bring glory to orc kind.
Indeed. It is said that your screams echo in the night on the anniversaries of your greatest battles. When the orcs gather around the campfires and we toast to the ancestors and we drink the blood of our foes, we remember the echoing calls of your screams and your triumphs on the battlefield.
My mother once told me on a holiday night, when we were all warm and happy from the feast, about your triumphs in battle over a swarm of foes, and one single scream wiped them all defenseless.
She floats up to Calc. Her face, like, inches away from Calc's face, and she opens her mouth and screams. And instead of it causing pain, you actually feel the blessing of your trio affect you. You are now blessed for the next minute.
Oh, I love
Fart
it.
when she did
She
it.
goes. She
you.
goes and does this in kind to everyone in the party, and then floats back into her tomb. Except for Ito.
I figured. Ito's that. She don't need to be screamed at. She's
The last wraith starts cackling to himself. And what of Clank? What have you heard of Clank?
Is it true that you can smell magic?
He bends down and traces a sigil onto the ground. As all of you look at it, you realize that it is the sigil word for power in Orcish. And now each of you have an advantage on your next attack roll as he crawls back into his tomb.
Oh,
That's-
sweet.
We're getting so many buffs.
Ito breathes one long sigh of relief and scrambles back over and takes that necklace back.
How did he make the ice club appear and disappear?
You still have his nose ring in too, don't you?
I do.
So yes,
Look,
Cogbog Frost Shock is a +1 Great Club, and it appears to be made out of ice, but it only feels slightly cool to the touch and does not appear to melt in your grasp.
and it's a one-hander.
Oh, it's a great
Great,
club,
too.
so it's
Great
two-handed.
would be 2.
Okay.
So that was creepy.
Glad we decided to go into the room on the
I
right
like
part.
that very much.
Okay.
So we should probably get out of here. There's nothing really more we can do, huh?
Sounds about right to me.
I like that we missed all the magical items when we first walked in.
Right.
Well, it is 8:22. I was thinking we'd take a break in about 8 minutes, but now might not be a bad time.
Yeah, now would be a good time.
I can use some more water.
Ooh.
When should we be back?
I equip my great club.
Okay.
Wait. Yes.
All right. Let's take a 10-minute break.
All right.
Cool.
All right. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
All right.
See ya soon.
Oh. Hey, we're back. And yes, so y'all had met a few undead heroes. No big deal. Got some buffs, got some magic items.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now we just gotta find something to fight with our buffs.
Oh yeah.
Seems like a pretty good plan.
Halfling's ready to go. Can't believe we all walked past all the magical items first time we entered the dungeon.
I know.
We're so skilled, we need to make it challenging for ourselves.
Right?
I think we're ready. I think we're ready to go into the water.
Where do we think the orb is? We should have asked the heroes if they hid an orb in here.
I don't know.
So
Or
I'll tell
bet
you
they
what.
wouldn't know.
Make an insight check.
Ito?
Sure.
My +0. Hey, I did 16. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Kinda-
So yeah, Ito, it does occur to you that every area that you've been in the Stronghold so far has belonged to one of the ancient tribes.
So we should go find
Watchful eye.
yeah. Cogbog, what we need to go find your people. Also, I'd really like to go now that we're like a team and we're like together and friends. I really want to go pick a fight with whatever was messing with us where those levers were.
Right?
Oh yes, the levers.
Yeah. Because we're
All
friends now,
let's-
and I trust you guys more.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. Where do we go?
I don't know. My
Let's
map
head
is still
south.
all blacked out, so someone else is gonna. Didn't we? Wasn't it after the little girl showed us through the hall?
So
Yeah, it
that
was
hall
north when we
is
entered.
up that north passage, but there is a door directly opposite the door of the tomb.
Ooh, ooh.
That yes, Cogbog is right in front of it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I inspect this door, and then I just open it.
All right.
KB like a toy store.
Fearless. Yeah. Boom. Ooh. I step
Okay.
right through and survey the area with the details that you're about to give me.
Yeah, so you enter this room. There are 4 pillars in the room with ornate carvings all over the sides of the pillars. One shows a carving of orcs defeating a horde of ogres. Actually, that's the one that is closest to Gaver. Another one shows an orc druid freezing dwarves in ice. And that is the one that Kalk is near. And actually both of those columns on the west side depict similar orcish druid encasing dwarves in ice. And then there is another one. The northwest pillar shows the orcs defeating a beholder. And there is a door to the west.
Can I give it a close look?
Sure. So,
I go further in the room.
You look at the door, and you kind of jiggle the handle, and it's locked. You're not able to open it, and it's strange because you actually don't see. You can't. You're inspecting the door. There's no keyhole, and there doesn't appear to be some kind of locking mechanism at all on the door. But you are unable to open it.
Hey, Magic-y type.
Swing it.
This is locked, but there's no lock. And I'm gonna go look at some of these pillars some more and see if maybe they talk. Any of them show a door. Because that's the depth of my imagination.
I just swing my great axe. Nope, never mind. I don't want to swing my
So
frost club.
everybody give me a perception check.
I think I got it.
Mine
Think
was
I
pretty
see it.
good.
Wow. Damn, Cogbog.
I roll a nat 1, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Ushnar and Rogmesh and Gaver and Ito. No, not Ito. That was
Yeah,
a
that
previous one.
perception, the 14 was from the first time I looked at the
Yes,
door.
yeah. Okay. So you all hear curious scratching noises coming from what appears to be inside the pillars. It's very
bug.
faint.
I tap on the pillar with the butt of my great axe.
Which pillar? The one you're by?
Actually, this pillar, the bottom right one.
The bottom right one. You kind of tap on it lightly, and the sound kind of rings out. The column is hollow, and I need all of you to roll initiative.
Roll initiation.
Alrighty, here we go.
We still
Here's our
have
second encounter.
Yeah, so make sure you include your buffs that you received.
How do we do
What
We were blessed.
yeah.
We had extra AC. We had a +1 AC.
Yeah,
Extra AC.
Oh.
And save +1 to AC and saving throws.
Okay.
and that's not a saving throw. Okay, we're good.
I'm just gonna put 15 for this fight. And then I'll remove the override after. Oh no, it's a beholder. Oh no, we gotta fight a beholder.
Uh-oh.
Wow, I rolled the same exact thing before and after I clicked on my person.
Well, crap. Do I not have this? Oh no.
We're all gonna die.
Oh, there we are. No. Oh, lovely. Okay. This is the one encounter I didn't pre-do. Okay.
Because we zoomed through it.
He even spurred us to this one. There's a room you haven't seen.
I know.
It's a Tarask.
I'm not happy about fighting this beholder, y'all.
It looks like it's
Believe me, neither am I.
And you're right near it. Heck.
Great thing I moved closer in the room, huh?
I'm glad your AC is 11.
It's for this fight.
Oh!
That saving throws, though, is going to be real useful.
Okay. Ito, what is your initiative?
13!
Gaver.
12.
Rogmesh.
7.
Cogbog.
14.
Ushnar.
19.
Look at you, Ushnar. Calc.
Right?
He ready for a fight.
Sorry, I was trying
Can
to
you dig it?
14.
find my buttons here. 14.
All right. Okay. So, right after you tapped on that pillar, Ushnar, creatures burst out of all 4 columns in the room. One appears to be a beholder, but a zombie version. Another appears to be a zombie ogre. And the other 2 are dwarf zombies. One of which is dressed in tattered wizard's robes.
Got a magic-y
Look
one.
at the wizard defiler.
Okay. And so,
Shit.
Ishnar, you are first to act.
Okay, let me take a closer look at where I am,
It's almost like
because
I
I'm going to
played
fuck
a
something up.
poker-like game recently or something.
Okay, this guy right in front of me.
Don't forget to add your bless, y'all.
Oh yes, add it on your
blessed-
tokens. If you could.
Click on your
Do-
token,
edit.
little circular thing at the bottom, and it's in the very last row.
Exhausted, confused, blessed. So the guy right in front of me, who's looking pretty mean.
Oh yeah, the dwarf.
The dwarf. Dwarf. Oh, first I rage because pillars aren't supposed to have enemies in them.
This doesn't make any sense.
And
So absurd.
then oh, why isn't it? Did it want to hit him? Oh, why isn't it going to D&D Beyond? Maybe if I press this.
There you
Did
go.
that do it?
Yes.
Yeah. Does that hit?
Hold on, let me get the dice rolls up here.
Mm-hmm.
Keep those dice a rolling.
They see me rolling.
All right. 20 definitely hits.
Thank goodness.
Okay. That doesn't take
Oh,
into
yeah.
account
Let me do something wrong.
my
One.
my rage, so that's plus 2 damage.
Okay. All right, so you're attacking number 2. All right, so how much damage?
14.
14.
Oh, I get 2 attacks. Whoopsie.
You.
That is a crit.
Ooh.
Nat 20.
Great job, dude.
Remind me of the damage rules for... That's another attack dice, right?
Or do
I
you
think you just
double it?
double.
What do we do here?
It's
Not
it's
the-
double the
not
die
the
roll, I
damage
believe.
modifiers?
Oh yeah, well yeah, it tells you what it
Yeah.
is. Critical damage is 9.
Okay, so it's 9 plus 5
Plus 2 for
is 14. Plus 2 is 16. So I've done 30 damage in one round.
All right, how do you want to do this?
Hot damn. Wow.
Split in twain from crown to business.
To Twan.
So you bring your axe down and bisect this dwarf zombie. One side of him just immediately flops to the ground, while the other is still kind of hopping around for a second on its one lone foot and then falls over motionless.
Ugh.
Excellent.
I look at Ushnar and I go, these are squishy.
Yeah, they are.
I can only see like half of it from around the pillar, and I'm like, gross.
And then the ogre zombie roars and attacks Gaver with his Morning Star.
I have 19 AC.
And does not hit. Okay.
You don't have all your equipment on, do you? 'Cause that's what I did. I had like a 21.
How would I
AC,
check
but
if I did?
In your equipment, and yeah, under equipment, you can see what is on by the little red marker. And the other, like when we first started, I had my great axe and my javelin and my plate armor and my shield on, and I couldn't. That doesn't.
Oh no! You can actually have those equipped. Those are the what you have at ready. The only thing you can't
really?
do is like use your great axe with a shield.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that's what I mean. Is like
Then
I can't-
actually my
so
armor
I turn
class
off
is
my
7.
I mean, like you have to have those. You have to have like all of your different weapons equipped for your different weapon types on D&D Beyond to like have it listed in your potential actions.
Yeah.
So.
And you do have a +1 to your AC this battle for 10
Yes.
minutes.
This is true.
So I should turn on my shield then? Is that what you're saying?
No, because you
Do you
can't
ever have?
your shield.
Yeah, the shield is the only thing you probably shouldn't turn on, unless
cool.
you
Then we're good.
switch to a one-handed weapon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so like the idea is like your javelin is something you throw. You just sheath your sword and throw your javelin, and you can still draw it, and we don't have to. We can use
My
the
dagger as
context
well.
of the moment to kind of determine what you can or can't do. Let's make
Okay,
it as
perfect,
easy
thank
as we
you.
can for you to like roll dice or determine what your options are on your
Right.
character sheet. So, okay, Calc, what you gonna do?
Are they coming for me? Wait, oh, something else. Okay. I think kind of like where I'm standing. So I can see all of them from here. I shall fire off a chill touch at the zombie beholder. I will say, "Ah, he reminds me of my friend Greg. I should kill him fast." And I will cast Chill Touch.
Okay.
But it's supposed to do 2d8 necrotic damage. So I need to roll another d8 here.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So it actually.
You don't want to.
Yeah,
You don't want to do that.
You rolled a 3 and a 5. If you hover over the damage, it'll tell you what the actual
I did
die
both.
rolls. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
On my little cool die rolling around for D&D Beyond, it only showed one die rolling for some reason. So.
Oh. Yeah.
Wouldn't necrotic damage heal undead?
No, not necessarily.
I thought that was a thing.
No, negative energy would. This actually here. How do I drop it into the thing? This way. At the bottom here, if you hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls against me until the end of my next turn. I thought it was everybody, but I guess it's just me. So.
Okay.
Still not bad.
So it does the damage, and it also it can't hurt me so much.
So how much damage?
So
8.
It was 8 damage. It's 17 to hit, 8 damage, and what happens is a hand jumps away from me, this like skeletal hand, and it leaps across and it clamps onto it, and I go, ha 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 ha, sucker.
Screw you, Greg.
That's right.
Greg.
No. I have a hard time saying Greg's full name. It's Greg Tormax Libdob.
I know him well.
Yeah.
Right on.
And that's it.
Okay. So the skeletal hand kind of taps the zombie beholder, and as you notice, like the eye stalks and the big central eye are all like clouded over. You're not really sure if or how well this creature can see, but 2 of its eye stalks that are still intact from just being a corpse suddenly kind of shift and stare in your direction. Cogbog.
Just like Greg.
Wow.
Nice.
I see
Why
this thing
are
come
there
out of.
so many?
Is this?
Look what you started, sir.
I'm proud. I'm glad we
Is
take
this
over.
zombie killer thing? Is it facing me right now?
Zombie killer thing.
This. Oh man, what the fuck is that?
Beholder?
Zombie thing.
Zombie beholder?
The beholder. The zombie beholder. Is it facing me right now?
So its main eye and torso is oriented at Gaver.
Okay.
But 2 of its eye stalks are pointed at Calc. And the other 2 are kind of just looking around or trying to look around the room.
I just raise frost shock in the air, and I just swing at it. There we go.
Wham!
Wham!
Oh, wow. Nice.
Wham!
I don't know how it has slashing damage,
Dang.
though.
I don't know. Well, I added it as a
It is a club.
Oh, it made
Is it a spiked club?
Yeah, I added it as a club. I don't know why it keeps changing it to a great axe. I apologize. It's super weird. I don't know. Sorry.
All right, we'll just say it's bludgeoning
I
damage.
added it. It's yeah.
We'll take a look at that
The
later.
slashing is the frostbite.
Okay. Yeah, I'll change. I'll mess with it, but I did add it as a +1 good club.
Okay.
So I don't know why it's doing that. It changed it to great axe, I guess. All right. Yeah, if bludgeoning damage can work. It's no. See, that's not right because it should be a 1d8.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Just roll a 1d8 and then add 5.
Here you go. There you go. That'll work.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, that hits.
Yes. And then I just swing again. Oh yeah, for nothing.
Oof. Okay.
All right.
So
That's my turn.
your frost shock like slams into the barrel body of this strange creature that is no longer alive and like kind of dents the rotten flesh where it strikes. But that's about the only effect that you can discern. All right, Ito.
I'm gonna kill the ads first. So I'm gonna slide on over to this guy here, and I'm gonna dagger, mushroom.
Which one are you going for?
This
Oh.
little,
We'll say that's the one in the wizard robes. That hits.
25 hits, maybe?
Yes.
He's not engaged, so I don't get sneak attack, which makes me very upset. So I only do 7 damage.
Oh, I forgot to put an X on this guy. Whoop. There. Okay. So how much damage?
7.
Oh, not the. Oh man, not the sneak attack damage.
No, because he's not engaged with anyone.
Ah, this is true. Okay.
I thought that was when he's 5 feet in front of someone.
So I either have to have advantage on the roll, or he has to be engaged with an enemy. It doesn't have to be my ally, but he has to be fighting something.
Okay.
Okay, so there was a condition that gave you an advantage to your roll.
Oh, there is?
Yep.
Yes.
One of our
okay.
blessings.
You get blessed
The-
plus 1d4.
When Clock traced the orc sign for power on the floor and you all saw it, you each gain advantage on your next attack roll.
Cool, so I did 22 damage?
If you
On
did
that
22 damage, then you need to tell me how you want to do this.
Oh!
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, like, going low and just dragging it straight up the body at a cross.
He slumps over, motionless, gone.
Okay, and so the big guy just south of Rogmesh,
Yes, the ogre.
is he engaged with either of those two?
He took a swing at Gaver, I believe.
Perfect. Then I'm coming over here because he's technically engaged with Gaver then.
Mm-hmm.
And my next roll was 26 to hit,
I'll let you keep it.
That's a nat 20.
and it's a nat 20,
Oh, all right.
Oh, jeez.
and that
okay.
gives me sneak attack damage. So I
Holy
did
crap.
29 damage.
14.
My second attack.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Wait a
Oh
second.
my nose, y'all.
How did-
Kaboom.
Wait a second.
Yeah. So it says here sneak attack critical damage is 14. And piercing critical damage was 2. I think your total critical damage is 16.
Yeah. And then total damage is 13. Total critical damage is 16, right?
I think it's just
You don't
one
add
of
them. The
those.
total critical
You
damage.
Oh, you don't add them?
Yeah,
Okay.
your
so
total critical damage was 16.
How did I do more last time then? Oh, well.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I took out 1. That's fine. Good enough.
Oh, you, because you probably rolled higher.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll take 16. I did 16 damage to the big one.
Alright.
I think it's both, though, isn't it? Because she did piercing damage and sneak attack damage. That's the 4 and the 9. That's 13.
Yeah.
And then the critical damage is separate. The
Yeah.
critical roll, she has the 2, and then the sneak attack critical damage. Those are 2 separate rolls of 2 and
I
14.
get both, don't I?
Oh, okay.
It's all it all piles up. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So 29?
29 damage, please.
Good grief.
Oof.
Alright.
Please tell me you just killed 2 dudes in 1 turn.
No.
I mean, I went after the really big one, so I don't think I did, but I hope he's hurt.
Gaver.
Says no.
Alright, so I'm going to use a bonus action first. Going to make my weapon magical, so I have a +1 to... +1 bonus to my attack rolls.
So I believe that...
Oh, can I use the rest of my movement to kind of like stay in range but scurry over here?
Yes.
Okay. I'm still engaged. I'm just scurrying around.
Okay. What are you doing, Gaver?
Okay, so I just gave myself a +1 bonus to attack rolls, and then I'm going to smack the beholder with a warhammer. So, bam.
That hits.
Ooh.
And don't forget we're blessed, so if anything doesn't hit, add that d4.
Yeah.
So 17 or 10? No, I didn't do two-handed, so it's 10.
Yeah,
Just
it's 10. Now, why does it break them out that way? That's so weird.
And that is I.
Why?
So is the bludgeon... Huh, okay. Alright, so 10 damage. Is that it?
Damn it, David.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freddie, thank you so much. Host.
Oh, do we have someone...
My buddy Freddie is hosting us.
Oh, sweet.
Hello.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so this beholder zombie who has 2 of his eye stalks locked in on Calc is actually going to let me see which one is it going to be. A ray shoots out of one of its eye stalks and bathes Calc in its light.
Uh-oh.
I need a Constitution saving throw.
Bless.
Oh yeah, it's a save
Yeah.
throw. Huh? You get that plus D4 on there. You shit.
You are
Let's
paralyzed
D4.
for
D4.
1 minute.
Add the d4. Add the d4.
Add the D4. Does it not help?
No.
Uh,
If he rolled a 4, it wouldn't help.
heck.
All right.
All right, so you are paralyzed, Calc. Let me see.
How would Calc get out of this paralysis? Another saving throw?
Yeah, he can make a saving throw at the end, each end of its turns.
Okay,
His
so can he
turns.
do that now? Or
No.
oh
he
no
just made a
it's not his
saving
turn
throw.
yet. Okay.
Let's see.
Do I remain standing or do I fall down?
You are paralyzed.
Not
So
petrified.
you're
so
just-
I fall down. Okay.
Do you fall down?
Well, I don't want to.
I don't think you
I'm
fall
leaning
down
on my
unless it says
staff.
it's not prone.
Paralyzed creature is incapacitated and can't move or speak. Automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Yeah, it
But they're
doesn't
not
really say.
knocked prone.
Yeah, I don't think you're knocked prone. I think you're
Okay.
just frozen.
You're still standing. You're just like.
I'm still standing.
And I thought this beholder would have more than one attack per turn. Oh well. Rogmesh.
Oh well.
Alrighty. Okay. The very end of the initiative list. Pretty much.
I think real beholders
oh,
have
But
multiple
not the
attacks. I mean,
Oh, real beholders are terrifying.
non-undead beholders.
Okay, so what's this one in front of me? I can't see the sign because it's in the pillar.
Yeah, that's the
The beholder in front of me?
Yes.
Okay.
There's the beholder to your left
I'm going
and
to-
an ogre to below you.
The south.
Clowns to the left of me.
Jokers to the right.
Alright, I'm going to do Chaos Bolt. Did that work? Roll.
Yes. Where? Who are you attacking?
Okay. The beholder in front of me.
Okay.
And then
You need to roll.
wait, was that the damage?
No, hold on. Before you get to damage.
Did that hit?
That did not hit. You
Okay.
can roll that 4-sided die.
Alright, let me
Word
go
out.
get that.
And we have advantage from before.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we have advantage, so I can just roll again.
Yeah, just roll again.
Can I disregard that bless? Okay, cool.
Well,
Bless
no.
doesn't
Well, that's your roll if you need it. Honestly, you made it with that, so don't even bother.
Unless the next one is
Okay.
No,
Well,
the
yeah, I
AC
could
is
use the bless.
15. She made it.
But if she's on advantage,
Alright, whatever.
nat 20, then she'd crit.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so roll that chaos
Just
bolt again.
Just in case.
See?
Well, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Alright.
Excellent.
Wow.
Nice.
This thing.
What?
I put it in
You
the
say
world.
excellent.
You manifested
If you
it.
had an
That's
axe.
you shall receive. That's
mean,
actually like really.
I've heard of be the change you want to be in the world, but
We got 2
You're right.
nat 20s, y'all. That was 2 nat 20 attacks in a row.
this is making up for that last session with all the horrible rolls.
When I could have re-rolled all of those ones that I didn't know. Y'all have a lucky feat. I could have re-rolled all the nat ones last time.
So what are we doing
Alright.
here?
So this is my one attack. I just had to split it between 2 dice types.
Oh, well, you could have
so
hit,
this is
did you try hitting click on
Yep, it doesn't work for me.
Weird. Okay.
But so that's 13 times 2 is 26. 26 damage. And I rolled a 20. I had a 26 to hit. That's pretty cool.
Nice. The stars have lined up.
So did you double those? I missed.
Finally.
Yes.
Okay, good.
13 times 2.
And what kind of damage is it?
Oh,
The good
yes.
kinds.
I almost forgot. Okay.
The damaging kind.
It's the damaging kind of
Doesn't-
damage.
It mucks stuff up.
What hurts the most? The end.
I could choose
From the
acid or
Morbite
lightning
combo.
based off my rule. I'm thinking acid.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Acid
26 damage.
Wow.
Yes. And I give bardic inspiration to Gaber.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ito and
so
her crits. Be the chaos you want to see in the world.
the Beholder zombie is not looking good at this point. He's...
Oh, that's.
I mean, it wasn't
good.
looking good to begin with, but he's starting to look a little ragged.
Like we're questioning what he's beholding.
Yeah.
If he was a stake in the ground, what would the level?
Throwback.
What's his level of hold?
Yeah.
GG, y'all.
Okay.
G.
So we are back to Ushnar.
Ushnar, inspired by all of the meat that all of you have wielded against it. Okay, so what direction is the beholder facing? And also, what's this other thing in the center of the room?
So the thing in the center of the room is an ogre zombie. And, I mean,
Zorm.
he's still pretty much primarily oriented on Gaver with two eye stalks kind of looking in the direction of Rogmesh and
So the beholder's got the whole room covered.
pretty much, yeah.
What's the different distance between me and the ogre in feet?
So there is you're separated by 5 feet.
Okay, so I would provoke an attack of opportunity if I walk past him.
Well, no, you're not quite up on it, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to. You could go due north and due west.
Okay, so if I wanted
if you
to
wanted
like,
to avoid him.
yeah, because I want to get to the beholder and try and turn him around. But so I can move like this in like an L shape and not
Yeah. Yes.
incur. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Because like ogre hit hard, sure, but beholder big scary, undead beholder big scary. So I'm gonna move here. And I'm gonna whack this thing a couple of
Another
times.
big
All right.
Boop, boop, boop,
Hits.
No way.
boop, boop.
Roll a d4, and you'll probably hit with that second one too. His armor class is 15, so yep, both of them hit.
So it's 10 plus 2, so it's 12. So and plus another 10, so 22 damage.
All right, so you actually managed to slice off one of its 4 intact eye stalks, and kind of shave off its cheek while you're at it.
I'm okay with this.
So, okay, is that it?
Like it needed.
Swag.
needed
Hashtag
it.
swag. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm done here.
Okay. All right. So, the ogre
Zoker.
attacks. Besides, he's going to attack Rogmesh this time.
How far?
And
Oh no.
18 hits.
You get a +1 to your AC. Oh, right. 11 plus 1 is 12.
And so you take 13 bludgeoning damage from the ogre zombie's Morning Star.
It's almost a third of my health. Cool, cool.
He's a big fella. All right, Cal.
It's fine.
Time to make a saving throw.
Okay, what kind was it?
Constitution.
And a bless.
Yay.
And you are no longer paralyzed.
Okay,
Is the
so
saving throw at the beginning or the end of the turn?
End of each of its turns.
okay,
Yep. So
At the
that's
end
your
of-
turn.
okay.
Unless there was something you could do while you were paralyzed.
No. Wait. Yeah. What is no? What does paralyzed do again?
Paralyzed is incapacitated and can't move or speak.
Well, I could cast a spell actually without moving or speaking. Hold on.
Oh, is it Wolfie Boy?
No, my I can spend a sorcery point to cast a subtle spell to cast it without any somatic or verbal components.
Oh.
Nice.
So any of my spells, and I have my staff is a what's it called?
Focus object
arcane
or
focus.
something?
Yeah, it's my arcane focus, so it counts as my material component. So as long as I have my staff in my hand, I can spend one sorcery point to cast a spell if I want to.
All right.
Calc's so cool.
So I think that I'm gonna go ahead and just do another chill touch on the I'll spend the man, my brain's not working very well tonight. The sorcery point to go ahead and do that and cast the chill touch again on the same beholder, because I think it's weak enough that maybe just another 2d8 of damage might do it, as long as I manage to roll 2d8 of damage. So
My name is Freeze. Learn it well. It's the chilling sound of your doom.
let's see what happens here.
Who are you attacking?
The beholder again. Yes, it only did 5 damage though.
This is Chill Touch.
Yeah, I did 13 to hit and then 5 damage.
1d6.
Let's kick some ice.
Well, it's actually 2d8.
No, I mean you also to hit you have a bless.
Oh yeah,
Or 1d is it 6 or 4?
1d4.
it's
1d4.
1d4. Okay, I can add that on there if I need to.
Yeah, you need to.
Oh, that doesn't broadcast over there, does it? I'm gonna do it this way then. Can I just type it? No.
Yeah, but you
How do
gotta
do that.
do a
Oh, there's
back-
this table over here. I forgot. Yeah, sorry. There.
And
So,
you
brings
hit.
it up to 16. Yeah.
Yep. He has a AC of 15.
Okay, so 5
So
damage.
5
then.
damage.
And he's grabbed. He's been grabbed again.
This time you actually see the beholder zombie visibly shudder as if the chill really affected him.
Oh, cool. So if I'd rolled 16 damage, you might be dead.
But you're no longer paralyzed.
That's true.
Yay!
All right, Cogbog.
What up? All right. So this ogre guy smells really bad. So and that's coming from an orc. Okay. So I feel like there's enough eyes on this eyeball thing. Oh shit, that would be an opportunity. Never mind. I stay the course. And I just swing my frosty thingy at his brain, at his eyeball parts. I want him to get tangled up in my club, if possible. Shit. +8. Okay, we're good. +1. Oh wait, never mind. Not +1.
No,
But
that
I'm good.
hits.
Does that hit?
And
Yes.
how do you want to do this?
Yeah. So I see a wyvern there, right? One of its eyeballs is still up there, and I get my club and I just kind of like swing at the little eyeball and wrap it around, and then fucking yank out the eyeball and then slam down on its brain parts. Yeah, it's pretty gross and graphic, but that was in my brain.
So,
or something like that.
As you do this, like, the creature just kind of just crumbles into itself. It was so riddled with rot and decay. There really wasn't much holding it together by the time you got to it. And so it just kind of squishes like a roadkill on the floor.
Is there eyeball juice everywhere now?
There's pussy eyeball juice.
You.
Glad I'm on the other side of this guy.
I
glad he was facing.
Get a second attack, yeah?
Yeah, and you can still
Does
move.
It have to be within. Okay.
You can move.
I just go. Not everybody's on a grid mark perfectly, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's
where
close
I
enough.
Can go. Okay.
Yeah,
I
close
swing my
enough.
cross shot.
Well,
One more
you can't
time.
occupy the same space, so.
Booyakasha.
All right, let's see what do we got here.
For 9 bludgeoning damage.
Okay,
All up in
that hits 9 damage.
His ogre hole. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Ito.
Dagger, dagger.
Get him. Get him.
13, and then I get to roll.
Oh, you don't need to. He has an armor class of 8.
My bad. I thought it was. I had 15 in my head.
That was the beholder.
Right. 10 damage.
All right.
And then 22 to hit, which I'm assuming does. And 16 damage. So 26 damage.
No.
Yay!
Oof.
So you essentially just kind of dagger sliced off chunks of what used to be muscle, but is now just like dead tissue and kind of pus and grossness.
Ew. It was really cool until right then.
Right?
All right, Gaver.
All right. I'm gonna
Remember, you have bardic inspiration.
Thank you. Gonna think back to the times at the Grimsh Monastery, and I'm gonna channel my War Priest abilities. Which means I hit twice.
Hit.
And obviously I'm going for the ogre.
Both of those hit.
Bam!
Okay, so are those one-handed?
Yeah, I'm doing one-handed, because I have my shield up.
So that's 17 damage total?
Yeah.
Alright, so your Warhammer, you just basically smack this giant ogre zombie around a couple of times, and it's barely standing at this point, and is just kind of wobbling. And
I've loosened the pickle jar.
Rogmesh, you are next.
Alrighty, I'm gonna have to whip out another Chaos Bolt. For
So, I can't stress how by a thread
Okay, alright.
this ogre zombie is standing there. Like,
I understand.
We've got a long sword.
Yeah, okay. I'll go for
you hit.
alright. And
How
it's
do you wanna
just
do
dead
this?
because it's
How
right.
do you wanna
It
do
doesn't have
this?
like 1 HP left.
It has 1 hit
All
point
right.
left.
Okay.
I left with
Alright.
1.
Yes.
How tall is it?
He's large. He's
There's like an echo of everybody.
So big, way bigger than me, right?
yeah, he is bigger. You guys are medium. He is large.
All right. So I want to like grab him by like his arm or his shoulder and like kind of climb up and then stab the dagger into his chest and then like fall down, like let go and fall down and just
Write it
go
down.
all the way down.
Ooh.
Okay, so the minute your sword pierces its skin, it just crumples. And its form shields you from any possible damage you might have taken from falling with it.
Yeah. Cool.
And you discover primarily why that is. It's because its body cavity was still filled with like putrescent gas from decomposing.
Mm,
Amazing.
love that.
And it basically it falls, you're on top of it, and then the
Pop.
body kind of deflates as gas kind of springs forth from fissures in its skin.
Oh, thank God.
filling the
I would.
room.
You know, if there's one thing I was missing from this room, it was zombie farts.
Of course.
Fair.
All right. And that will be that.
Jarts.
Those bodies are.
We
I'm not even
must
gonna
have leveled
search
up
through
by
them.
now.
I am looking.
All right.
I am going to.
Front leveling up.
We're
You
like
know what?
halfway there to the next
Who
level. We're not
knows?
leveling up
So-
this campaign.
Bodies.
I'm going to give you some experience from the last encounter too, but that experience, you each get 336.
Woo.
We're never
I'll
leveling.
decide
Yay! That was a fun encounter.
That was real fun.
Yeah, that was correct.
I was real nervous about that beholder. Good job, y'all.
I go and check the door immediately to see if defeating those motherfuckers made the door go opening, makes it openable.
Oh. And you'll actually get 783 experience apiece from the previous encounter.
Wow.
Whoa.
You're gonna add all that later, right?
That's a nice
Yeah.
spout.
I'll add that later.
All right.
So yeah, like, I mean, just to clarify, you did not have combat and defeat the two wraiths and the banshee, but you roleplayed your way through the encounter, and so I'm awarding the experience for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
We remembered
We actually are a team.
I took a note.
Ito would like to loot the bodies, please, while holding her nose.
Okay.
Zombie
So,
I'm not even. I
Real
think they're
quick.
gross.
All right. So the minute the ogre fell, you hear a click at the door to the west, and
I'm right there, man.
And yeah, do you wish to enter?
I will wait just a second because I heard Ito commenting around. And I'm like, Ito, hurry up.
There might be shiny things. Hold on.
Gonna go.
Scrabble, 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 scrabble. Also, thank you for waiting. Scrabble, 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 scrabble.
So yeah, anything on the zombies' bodies of value deteriorated long ago.
Including the dwarves?
Yes.
I'm having fun, y'all. This is super fun.
It is super fun. Ito's just sad she didn't get shiny baubles and things.
Are there things to loot from anywhere?
Okay.
All right.
So are you guys gonna open that door?
I'm totally opening this door. Like, you done, Ito?
There wasn't anything. Let's go find something.
Okay.
I enter.
What
All
is
right.
this?
So.
Oh shit.
You enter this recessed area of the room, and at the end of this hall stands a statue of a mighty orc leader. Unfortunately, the nameplate of the statue is unreadable. It's something damaged it, or it just eroded over time. You are unable to identify who this is. But you notice it is wearing a suit of leather armor that looks to be in good shape, as well as a shiny silver battle axe.
Ooh, new weapon.
Like a great axe?
I grab it.
It's a battle axe.
Okay.
I grab it.
Okay.
Axe.
So Ushnar, it appears to be a standard battle axe. Definitely the design of it is consistent with the design of orcish culture from centuries past. And it appears to be made out of silver, or at least treated with silver.
Fancy.
Anybody want some leather?
Let's see. Werewolves and what else need to be killed by silver? If this was the witch, I'd say doppelgangers, but you know.
Just wolves.
You know.
Werewolves.
Well, you know, if I run into a werewolf, I'm good. But awesome.
I was like, Rockmesh, are you bleeding?
Yeah, I'm a little bit dinged up. Got about 2/3 of what I was before the battle.
Is anybody going to grab the leather armor?
The
I'm
what?
gonna grab the leather armor. I'm just gonna grab it, just because I think somebody could use it. I
I
start
like
taking
leather armor,
it off,
but I think it's too big for me.
and then I throw it at Rogmesh, like. I think you can use this.
I really
You're
could.
squishy.
I'm
You're
squishy. I'm squishy.
Can I do cure wounds on Rogmesh?
Yeah. Where you at?
Me? I'm right at the doorway. Thanks, y'all.
What kind of armor do you currently have, Rogmesh?
Let me check my equipment. It's like leather or chainmail, I think.
Yeah, it's leather.
Yeah, it's leather.
Okay.
Is it for little people?
No, it's definitely ogre size. I mean, orc size.
I could put it on and look like a football player.
There's huge torso.
The chest plate comes down to my knees.
Oh, you know what? I just realized something. That passage to the south, I was mixing it up with a passage from another part of the dungeon. I don't think you guys have been down there yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's too late now.
Is it?
Oh.
Yes,
I
it
was
very
just
much
trying
is.
for it.
Okay.
We already did it.
All right. So the leather armor Rogmesh is really, really well made and doesn't appear, strangely, to have deteriorated in any way. It appears brand new, or nearly
Okay.
brand new.
Well, I'm still gonna keep it. It's just gonna be in my inventory, and then I can probably give it to someone if they need it, or if acid corrodes one of their things.
Ooh, yeah, keep it back up.
So make an insight check real quick.
Okie dokie.
You find it really strange that it hasn't eroded or deteriorated in any way. That it is
Oh, yeah.
intact.
That is also a factor to look at. Maybe it's magical. Can someone detect magic?
I'm
on
gonna
this
detect some freaking
thing?
magic.
Go for it.
Show me
Hand
magic.
the thing to Gaber.
Okay, so you cast Detect Magic.
Roll me magic.
Yep.
It is definitely glowing.
100% magical.
Is the new
I got a magic thing.
Do I know anything about its magical quantities other than the fact that it is?
That is a different spell.
I see.
Well, with detect magic, don't you get the school of magic? Not like the intent or anything. At least I thought so.
Yes. If a specific school of magic is involved, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what do you guys want to do next?
Ito's knocking on the pillar again.
We should explore through other doors.
No, the pillars are destroyed.
Oh, they've been destroyed?
Yeah,
Never mind.
the zombies were inside the pillars. They burst out from them.
I thought maybe they were
I,
just burst out of the carving and the pillar was still there.
No.
Can I get closer? I mean, I've already taken the leather armor off of this statue, but is there anything that I recognize about this? Like, why is this thing here? I'm curious about the what this is. Who this is.
So clearly, this area, which was referred to as the Boneyard by one of the undead creatures one of the undead heroes that you spoke with earlier, is clearly dedicated to champions of the ancient Orcish society that once inhabited this stronghold. So you imagine this statue is of some ancient Orcish hero, but there's nothing about it that you recognize from, like you did with the other three.
I elbow Rogmish. I mean,
yeah,
Ushnar,
buddy.
And
Oh.
I meant Ushnar, and I go because he's right next to me, and I go,
Mhm.
That's good. That's gonna be me. It's gonna be me one day. They're gonna put a statue in there.
I feel like I have something clever to say, but I can't think of it.
Ito sticks her head and goes, "Hey, Cogbog, we gotta go find your she-devil girlfriend. Come on."
All right. Let's go.
Oh my god.
All right, brunch.
Need a brunch.
Upgrade.
Because
Brunch.
it's mimosas.
All right.
Okay.
Brunch is an upgrade, isn't it?
Brunch is like the only thing better than brunch is Brenner.
I'd even
know
call.
that.
I'd even say that's better than second breakfast.
11.
No lack of a fourth breakfast.
Chop them up, stick them in a stew.
Potatoes.
All right,
We going?
kind of done with this room.
We going north, right?
Yeah,
Lego
let's skedaddle.
North to Alaska, guys.
So, I'm going to give you some insights since we're using a different version of the map. But north is that long hallway where you found that door that
The
you
little girl.
and the little girl.
Oh.
Yeah,
South it is.
I would prefer to go back south where that water was that we didn't get to fully explore
Because
because
I
we
don't
ran
think
away.
we explored the whole north area either. I just don't know the fastest way to find the
Right.
orb.
When we went across the hallway, there was like some corridors and all the water and stuff that we had to like wade through, and then I don't think that's the best route to get back to that other place, but I don't know. That's
I just want to pick a fight with the guy with the gears, but I'll go wherever with the levers.
that's a good idea. I mean,
But that's a personal grudge. I will go with the party.
I vote we go south.
I
I agree
mean,
with Cogbug.
if you want to split the party,
No,
Absolutely not.
Remember what happened when
All right,
one person went like 10
Okay.
feet away from the room?
go south, people. Raise your hand.
Right.
I want to head south.
We're going south.
South it is.
South it is.
Okay. If all of you could just gather towards the end of that hall.
Okay.
We've been gathered.
I
And now the Trask arrives.
Is there
It's
a
a trap.
dragon?
Let me.
There's no dragons in Dungeons and
You know, put
Dragons. I've never
That
seen one.
orcish necklace back on. It probably hangs down to like her
Oh,
navel.
God, come on.
You ever seen a dragon in Dungeons and Dragons?
I saw one and it was half
Yeah.
killed because it
Me
was
neither.
forced.
I think
Yeah, I don't think they exist.
it's a metaphor. They wouldn't call it dragons if there were actually dragons in the game. It's like-
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's no fantasy in this game. This is based in realism.
I mean, it would be like if
Rodents
someone in this
of
game
unusual size?
said something like, "We must return to the glory." Who does that?
Right?
Aren't we already glorious?
I know I am.
We just gotta get more.
We don't need to return to it.
Make Turiel glorious again?
Oh no.
Out. Rejected.
Uh-oh, my things are...
Yeah, mine is
Oh,
just
my
all
internet's
black. I see
messing up.
nothing.
It's all going
give me a
black.
second, guys.
Working. He's
Giving a
working
sec.
search and magic.
Oh, I see. I see.
This is the part
be
where
okay.
like, he walks into the other room and like brings out the map and has to like set it down, arrange everything.
Yep. And I gotta get there we are. Okay.
I feel like I've been here before. Making my way down south through these halls.
Gonna find me in orb.
All right. Yeah, it's a really long haul. So I'm already off the map.
You're a really long haul.
Got him.
Okay.
I see this door directly in front of me, and I want to enter.
All right. Actually, wait before you
Oh,
cross
wait.
that bridge.
Oh shit!
So
I didn't
no,
cross
go
that
back
bridge.
up. Go back up. All right.
That's-
Don't cross that bridge till you come to it.
Yes. All right. So you keep on going down this long hall, and then as you get further down the hall, you hear the sound of rushing water. And you come to an opening, the end of the hall. There's a bridge, and the water below the bridge churns wildly. And the stonework in this area is very slick. There's about a 5-foot drop from the bridge to the water. And you see a door
just me,
on
or do you
the
keep
other side of the bridge.
Yeah, I wanna check out that door on the other side of the bridge.
So as you start to
But
cross the
first-
bridge, I'm gonna need either
I
an
said but
acrobatics or a dexterity check.
Okay.
Should
I
have
was
said
gonna check the bridge one foot at a time. It's like I was getting in it. All right, acrobatics or dexterity. Wait,
Whichever one you want. It can
which
either
one?
be
Yeah,
acrobatics,
or
or dexterity saving throw.
oh, not athletics. Okay,
Not athletics.
I'll go with dex. Are we still blessed? Has
And
it been 10 minutes?
you do not slip off the bridge.
It's only a minute.
Oh, sweet. Hey guys, it's a slippery bridge.
Ito does that
Um,
thing where she reaches out and then realizes how big you are and is like, never mind.
And as you cross to the landing on the other side of the bridge, you notice a few large feathers, just kind of on the ground. They don't look.
Huh.
They look fairly
Hey guys,
fresh.
there's some really new feathers over here.
Something's so if I cross the bridge, am I doing a dexterity save too?
Are you small or medium?
I'm medium, I think. Wait, I might be small. How do I
Yeah, halflings are small.
description?
Yeah, I think they're small.
I think I'm small because I can hide behind bigger people.
Okay.
Where do
Yeah, I think so.
features and traits?
I'm
Okay.
looking there.
Give me an acrobatics check.
I can do that.
It's under characteristics. Description characteristics. Sorry.
Description characteristics. Small. Yes, I am small.
Okay.
SMOL.
Mole. Description.
Thank you.
All right.
Where's
I did a 28, 27.
Yeah, you're
I
good.
think I'm okay.
Yep. Is anybody
Can I-
else going to cross the bridge?
Can I look at these feathers?
I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cross the bridge too.
David's computer froze, so Ushnar will be back momentarily.
Ah.
Well, I'm here, but
Oh.
I am just not. I'm on a different computer, so no video at the moment.
Got it.
And I'm
Sauce.
trying to. Oh, roll 20. Really wish. Okay. So apparently there's a thing that was happening while I was.
So if you go all the way to the south, there's a bridge, and the bridge is tricksy, and if you cross it, you're going to have to do a saving throw, and there's some feathers on the other side of the bridge.
Do you want me to move your character down?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Can
And
I
yeah, I'm gonna go across the bridge. And you said
Dexterity or acrobatics?
or deck. Okay.
So which one? There you go.
Oh well.
And
Am I still blessed? Do I get to roll that good
how long
D4?
was that blessed for?
Let's last for a minute. Oh,
This
One
one
was
had
10
a
and
specific
one was
time.
1.
Oh, I think the AC was 10 minutes, and the bless was like
1
Mhm.
minute. Yeah, you don't have bless anymore.
Oh well.
So
Down I go,
yes,
into
so
the water.
you slip and fall into the water
Oof.
over here. And now I need you to make an athletics check. Because the water is moving very fast.
I bust out my rope and I just throw it over him in the water as best as I can.
And you lose your footing and fall into the water.
No!
No.
Me?
No,
I mean-
Ushnar.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Okay.
slipped off of the bridge, and the current made him lose his footing. It's honestly not that deep, so it's more embarrassing, really, than anything else. But you're kind of like...
embarrassed. I right through my bag for a rope.
And so
And I
you
just
can,
start-
if you can give me another athletics check, and if you pass this one, I'll let you get up and out of the water.
Yeah, I think I made it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you got that.
All right. Okay, so you're right here. All right, is anybody else? Oh, that's
I think everyone.
Oh, I've got
I
the
am-
grid.
Expecting this door.
That's what the problem is. This grid.
Oh yeah, great.
I want to look at the feathers.
Okay. Weird. Okay, do
I'm
you
expecting this door for traps.
Ito, give me a nature check.
Ooh, that's not as good. 8. It's a
You-
bird, probably.
You have no idea where these feathers came from, but you've never seen any pattern, anything like them before.
Are they pretty?
I mean, they're not like bright colored and vibrant, but in so much as a feather has a certain amount of natural beauty, yes. Their size
my
is
ear.
like, it's to you it's about that big. It's pretty large feather. Must have been a really big bird.
Hmm.
Put my
Are they
ear
are
to the
the
door.
ends like bloody, or do they just look like they molted?
Yeah.
They don't appear bloody, no.
It could be a really friendly bird.
All right, is anybody else going to cross the bridge?
Yeah,
I
rolled-
am.
Oh,
So athletics check.
Yes.
Uh,
No.
acrobatics.
Dexterity or acrobatics. All right, you made it.
Okie doke.
Gave her.
I rolled an 11 before.
You rolled an 11. Oh, you made it. Okay.
And I
You know,
rolled a 5.
basically greets
You rolled a
Rob
5. You fell this way into the water, and now I need a strength or athletics check from you.
Let's see. Strength or athletics? Well,
Your choice.
I got 8.
And you also fall into the water. And again, like, you can brace yourself against the bridge because the current is flowing towards the west. It's little more than an embarrassment, if anything.
Oh, well, I don't see anything under the bridge. I guess I'll get out of the water now.
Well,
Thanks for the scouting
All
mission,
right.
buddy.
So on
Thanks
that
for
note, let's call it a night. It is just after 10 o'clock. And I guess we'll have to see what's behind that door to the south next week.
Dun, dun, dun.
We will be back next week. And yeah, again, I'd like to thank D&D for providing the module for us. I'd like to thank Sirenscape for providing us stuff to fill our ears. And I'd like to thank Roll20. Again, it is D&D Celebration Weekend, and I think there's still some PAX Online stuff going on. It's all kinds of crazy stuff.
And
Everybody
also thank you,
enjoy it.
Dwarven Forge, for the pretty textures.
Oh yes, Dwarven Forge. Yes, thank you, Dwarven Forge, for making awesome terrain that I have built these crazy maps with.
Yeah, nice.
I know like I said before, I'm doing an Adventurers League epic tomorrow evening. I don't think I'll be able to stream that, but I actually think Kay is going to be streaming this weekend.
Yes, we're going
Yup.
to be doing a modern fantasy PAX bar crawl adventure. It's going to be kind of crazy. It is going to be all industry people, so all of us work in the gaming industry, and it is a custom module that we will be streaming over at Kamahura's thing. It should be fun. We're going to start at 2 p.m. And go until it's done. I'm going to be playing an internet famous cat who was turned into a tabaxi and forced to do dungeon crawls for money. And should
Nice.
be crazy. Our wizard is a tiefling coder who literally treats magic like code.
Awesome.
Whoa.
Should be a good, weird, wonderful time. Modern fantasy D&D dungeon crawl. So
And maybe we can rebroadcast that one on Gaming Trends channel as well, right?
we'd love to. So
Yeah, other than that, I've got a streaming show that I'm probably going to be unveiling in the next week or two, so keep an eye on Gaming Trend on our social media accounts and everything. And yeah, we'll see you next week.